in your book 10% Happier, there were a lot of quotes that were interesting. Um, because I'm a teen, and as you can probably imagine, teens tend to have that voice in their head, which is like a negative loop. And as part of the Mindfulness Peace Summit, we talk a lot about self-compassion and self-awareness, positive psychology, and how, as you I'll also say in your book, the pursuit of happiness becomes the source of our unhappiness. Do you really believe that it's possible for teens or for anyone really to stop the negative loop in their heads and develop more compassion for themselves and others to help with their daily lives?
I don't think you're going to stop it entirely. I think you could develop a new relationship with it. So it's we developed this racing mind for a good reason.
Yeah.
We needed, on this, again, I'm going to go back to evolution here. When we were evolving on the savannas of Africa, it was a dangerous place, and we needed, we needed to be on the lookout for threats, and we needed to be on the lookout for food, and we needed to make sure we were getting along with the other people in our tribe. So we have this racing mind for a good reason, but now we're often using it for bad reasons. We're worrying over and over and over about, the lack of Instagram likes for the latest picture. And one simple question that I talk about in my book that's really helpful, that I was taught to me by one of my teachers, meditation teachers, is when you notice that you're in a loop of negative thinking on something, test score, a fight with a friend, some new rule that your parents introduced around the house that you don't like, maybe ask yourself this question: is this useful?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying don't worry about anything, because I'm an old school worrier. I've been worrying for a long time. I believe that if you're going to do anything great, it's going to involve a certain amount of worrying and plotting and planning. But we tend to make our suffering worse than it needs to be. And this little question of, is this useful, can help you draw the line between useless rumination and what I call constructive anguish. And that's a huge deal. So again, I'm not saying never worry. And definitely, and by the way, even if I told you to never worry, it would be impossible. What I am saying is there is a way through developing self-awareness and mindfulness to notice when you've worried yourself silly, and it no longer is useful, and maybe it's time to do something else.